So, a quickly drop of water. We have bug fish, and I recommend you guys apply.
Not look like the poinsettias you plant at home. What is that what they look like?
This right here looks like a wisteria, guys, but it's not a wisteria. It's called Petriah. We normally call it as a sandpaper vine on the farm because of the texture of the leaf. You know, it feels rough.
Oh my!
We locally call it as a sandpaper vine, and the real flower comes from within. It's like a bulb that will burst open into a flower, which is this one.
Oh,
it's very nice. Another blue one here is like a dye. You can actually make tea out of this flower, guys. Called it butterfly pea. Butterfly pea, guys. If you get like 5 or 6 flowers to put them in a bottle or a cup of water, the color of the water turns blue, folks. And it's also a pH sensitive as well. So if you add like half of a lime to it, it leaves a blue color to a pink or a purple color, guys. And it's an edible flower. If you folks don't mind, you can actually pinch this part off. You can throw away the green stem, and you can chew on the entire flower. The aftertaste is kind of sweet. Most people say it's going to work or fit perfect in a salad or something.
It definitely has like a pea taste.
This one here, folks, I'm not too sure about the name of it, but for sure it's part of the honeysuckle family. You can smell it. Smells very nice. Smells like sugar.
That's so cool.
And this red one here, guys, it's almost like the poinsettias because they only bloom around Christmas. You know, when Christmas is getting near. It's called the Brazilian cloak. And the red are just a modified leaf. The real flower is the white.
Oh wow.
Okay. Just like with the poinsettias, guys. The red right here with the poinsettias is just a colorful leaf. Now the yellow is the flower, see?
That's so cool. Almost looks like a hummingbird's mouth.
Yeah.
With the way the tongue sticks out.
Smell this leaf. What do you guys think?
It smells really familiar.
Yeah.
The first time I smelled the leaf, I thought of tacos, burger. Right? That's garlic, folks.
Really?
Yeah. Now the garlic bulb is a different plant. Now that leaf I got from that vine, and we locally call it as garlic vine because of the obvious aroma from the leaves. And you can use it in the absence of the bulb, just like the regular garlic, like in salads and soups and anything like that you can use. But this is just leaves. I'm thinking, if you think about harvesting the roots like in a normal tree root, so it doesn't give you the bulb garlic, so it's different. And people that knows about the plant, since the vine grows good, like on fences, so people will have them growing on their perimeters to repel bugs and mosquitoes and maybe snakes away from the house. So it's a good plant to have around the house, and of course you can also use the leaves in cooking, food preparations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are huge.
These are water lily, guys. And this is a real plant as well, guys. This is called Victoria water lily. Most of the time people call them as the plate lily or the Amazonas because they're native to the Amazon rivers of Brazil. And the maximum diameter of a full leaf could expand to at least 3 or 5 feet across. And these are just ornaments, guys, and they actually come like this naturally. So they look like a heart when the leaf is young and keeps on growing and expanding just overnight. And once they reach their full size, they will start turning yellow and brown, and they will eventually die out, so you will have to cut them. And more and young leaves tend to come up after, guys. And the water level is at least 5 feet. And we have the pipe on the other side right there to add water anytime the water level goes down. And this is a very stable and stagnant water right here, guys. Yeah. It's called the Victoria lily. I'm not too sure if you folks have seen on YouTube, but I've seen postcards before of an infant on the leaf. Yeah, that's very nice, guys. And these are some nice plants.
See the heart shape of the one that's developing.
And sometimes when the sun is shining, especially during the dry season, we often see bullfrogs on the leaves as well. Yeah, so no fishes, no crocs, no snakes. I mean, snakes are everywhere. Snakes on a plane, I guess. Now we also have the one on the other side that has like the small flowers and small leaves. Those will not grow into this. There's two different kinds though. So we have that white, and then we also have the pink on this side right here, guys. So these are some interesting plants.
I love garlic.
So these are all teak, guys. These are teak trees right here on the both side of the road with the broad leaves. And the restaurant back here is about 90% made out of teak, and even the trolley is also teak as well. So usually, guys, on the farm we harvest a mature teak tree that's about 20 or 25 years. And that's about 2 feet in diameter, and we cut right above the ground level like right here. And what is interesting about these plants is that after harvesting the mature one, guys, there are multiple shoots that comes after. And what we practice on the farm is using one or sometimes two good shoots that we can use again in the near future. Eventually we have to cut this one here. Just one should be enough because the space is going to be very tight and you can harvest this in the near future as well. And that's kind of strange with other hardwood trees because, well, here in Belize, for instance, mahogany, rosewood, or cotton tree, any hardwood tree in Belize, guys, once you cut it down, it will not come back unless you come back and plant. But teak is something that's very fascinating. It regrows, guys. Regrows. Now, this plant right here, this is turmeric.
Oh wow.
This plant is like those plants right there, see? Those are more turmeric plants. They're kind of invasive as well. The lifetime of a turmeric plant is only about 6 months, 7 months maybe. This is the root that we harvest, guys, and this is turmeric, see? It's a ginger root. In Belize, we locally call it as yellow ginger because it stains. Once you touch it, it's a yellow color, see? Yeah, they almost look like some small versions of carrots. And check it out, you can smell it. Fresh turmeric right there. So yeah, like the leftovers like that we plant, they're kind of invasive so they would spread. And within 4 months or 5 months, guys, the leaves will start turning yellow, and from yellow to brown, and the plants would die out. So once the plants dies out now, like those ones more on this side, that's a sign that tells us that the roots are ready. So we start digging, and I believe nowadays they're actually making capsules out of turmeric. It's used for arthritis, inflammations, treatment of cancer, and also I believe they also make tea from the raw turmeric powder as well. It's actually becoming a big thing, guys. So that's our sawmill right there, and of course our wood chipper, and we also have a nursery here as well, so we sell plants locally within the country as well.
Wow. Lemongrass.
Yeah. Make nice tea out of it while using Thai food. That's one of the main dish methods, citronella, so it helps to keep the bugs away as well.
Throw this at home.
fruit here, guys. This shrub here is called a rocker boy. These are the fruit when they get ripe. They almost looks like tomato. We make juice out of the fruits, guys.
Got lots of good juices here again.
Small fruit, you can smell it.
And it's like a tomato.
Yeah, you can peel off the skin. It's an edible fruit. You guys can try if you'd like. You can peel off the skin. And the skin is very thin. And there's a lot of meat inside. The smell of it is so good, guys. But when you bite into the fruit, it's a different story. It's super sour, guys. A lot of people like it. You try it.
Want to try it?
Sure.
It's kind of like Sour Patch Kid.
It's really good.
I wonder if a little bit of salt on it.
Leaf. Original curry leaf. It's a native plant to India. It's so good. And chicken. We actually serve curry chicken. Yeah, and it's lobster and then fish. It's a nice flavor, guys.
Is that what you're gonna have for lunch?
Curry?
Yeah, he's
That's
having
good.
the curry
That's
chicken.
good. It's good. Now the curry that you folks might be familiar with, the one that you get in the stores more commonly, guys, that's like different spices put together. It has cumins, fennel seed, and the main basement is turmeric, and that's why that curry is yellow. And that's allspice, guys. Christmas right around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, and I believe you folks are familiar to the berries, right? The allspice berries and the ground berries, which is the powder. Well, this is the allspice tree right here, guys. So this is a native plant of Central America, and it grows well here in Belize. And we pick the leaves, guys. We use them just like a form of a bay leaf, you know. We use them like in stews and soups and fish as leaves. And when the tree dies out, guys, you can actually collect the wood and burn it down. People that love to do like grilled meat, like barbecue, anything that's smoked could be meat or fish. You can use the charcoal from it and use it for smoking meat or fish. And the aroma would stick on whatever is smoking, folks. And if you guys nibble on the leaf, it will numb the tip of your tongue for at least 2 minutes. Yeah, it's very high in anesthetic. People that has toothache issues, it works. It numbs, guys. Now this is Moringa. I'm not too sure if you guys have heard about Moringa, but Moringa is more of a superfood, guys. It's actually used, well, number one for treating diabetes, sugar level, and also high blood pressure as well. You can make tea from the leaves. You can use them in smoothies and food preparations, but if you use them in food now, it will not add or change the flavor. It's very mild, guys. This is Moringa. They call it as the tree of life or the miracle tree, folks. It's a good thing you guys had your lunch, because after your tour, the folks will be hungry.
Yeah.
Different smells.
Because I was totally going to sit there.
So our next spice is gonna be nutmeg, folks. So these are all nutmeg trees right here, guys. These are some of the fruits on this tree. This is a female tree, guys. In order to get nutmeg production, sorry, both male and female trees are very essential, and it also requires a male and a female tree in order for them to produce. And the ratio of these plants is 20 or 25, which means that one male is enough to maintain and pollinate about 20 or 25 female nutmeg trees. And only the female trees tend to produce, and the male trees only produce flowers, guys. And pollination is done by wind, so cross pollinations, and the distance of the plants could be at least 20 or 25 feet apart from each other. And also, it's one of our slowest growing spice. Before it starts producing for its first time, it takes at least 8 or 10 years before it produces for its first time, and thereafter it produces for every year and 3 times per year. And every time it does produce, it gives us about 40 to 60 of these nuts or fruits, whatever you want to call it. So there's this line between the fruit when the fruit is young, guys, and when it's full, it splits naturally like this, and then you can get it from the tree, or most of the time we'll collect it on the foreground. It's one of the most beautiful spice, guys.
Wow.
See?
Wow.
Check it out. That's nutmeg. Have you folks used or heard about mace before? Mace, M-A-C-E.
Yeah.
Well, mace is that red membrane covering the nutmeg, guys. It feels like rubber. That's mace. And even though the spice is full right now, but you're not able to use it, you have to dry it first, at least for a week or 2. So we dry the red part, which is the mace, and we grind to get it into mace powder. And the actual nut itself inside is the nutmeg that you would scrape into pastries more commonly. So we get 2 spices, guys. Mace and nutmeg comes from the same nutmeg tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very interesting, right? So meal and the mace, and this right here, guys, is the meal flower. So the meal tree only produce flowers, guys, and cross pollinate for the female, you know. This is the meal flower. You can smell it. It's very perfumey.
Sweet.
Mm.
It doesn't have the nutmeg smells with them.
Sorry.
I'm happy. I was worried.
These are called Heliconia, folks. The first one that we saw right there is called a crab claw Heliconia. This is called a lobster claw Heliconia because it looks like a lobster claw. We have the parakeet, which are like the smaller varieties. You're right, you know. So they're all part of the bird of paradise family, guys. This right here is called a Bohemian Arcade, guys. Attracts a lot of hummingbirds, especially early mornings. And these are dragon fruit. It looks like a cactus. They come in the form of a cactus. Dragon fruit right here. This fruit on the ground guys is soursop. Have you guys heard about soursop? Soursop is this fruit guys. This is a bad one though. Looks like a dangerous fruit but it's not. It's one of my favorite actually. This is the tree soursop. And the leaves now is used in treatment of cancer. You can boil the leaves and make a tea out of it. It has a smell. Now this fruit is so good you can eat it when it's ripe guys. It does taste green, and how do you know it's ripe is because the texture of it is very soft guys when it's ripe. And then when you open it there's a lot of seeds and you eat the pulp around it. And the ice cream is also good and the juice from it is also good guys. Now this is a cinnamon plant right here folks, right here. So these are all cinnamon trees more to the back, and the spice is from the bark. So usually we look for thicker branches folks, like this one here. So you cut the branches from the main trunk, it will not kill the plant. It's like an advantage, it regrows and we tend to get more and more branches, new branches that we can harvest again. Now this is an average size branch, but this could work, you know. If you want to harvest cinnamon, this could work. So you can prune it right there. We take this branch to our drying room, and what happens there guys is that we get a knife and we scrape off the skin, which is like the outer bark, something like this. We scrape off the outer bark, and then we come next to an inner bark, which is this orange color, and that's the part that we extract, and then comes the wood, right? So after extracting the inner bark now guys, we spread them on our drying shelf. Within 2 weeks guys, they naturally roll or curl back like a stick with the help of the sunlight. So the inner bark is what we get for the cinnamon sticks, right? It's the bark. What is also fascinating is the leaves, you know. People would boil the leaf and make cinnamon tea from the leaves. If you folks don't mind, you can nibble on the leaf stem guys, on the little stem, you know, this part. Like fireball. So any questions guys? So we're doing so far, we're doing good?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like fireball.
Bamboo guys, this one here is called a spiny bamboo because of the needles on it, the pores on it, and it's like a nursery for birds and home for iguanas, and we locally call them as bamboo chickens, right? And then we also have the yellow bamboo here, which is widely grown throughout Belize. It's very invasive, it's part of the grass family. Understanding this kind of bamboo here grows approximately 2 inches a day guys.
Oh, wow.
I think the plan that they had before was to make the cement, and I think it's planted at least 3 feet to try to keep it just in there guys. But it's escaping, even the one back there starting to crack open as well. And then we also have the ring bamboo because of the knobs around the stalk. And of course the elephant bamboo, which is also another massive one that comes like in clumps. And again, these are just ornamentals guys, but like this kind here is what is used like for scaffolding and gates. Well, we use it for gates on the farm as well guys. wedding spot, folks. We have done about 3 local weddings here before, like I told you guys earlier. Yeah. There was a bigger shower head, you know. The sea pod. Vanilla, folks. We have a total of 6 acres of vanilla on the farm. We have this side, we have at the middle and the beginning of the trail. So vanilla is an orchid, guys, and these are the vanilla beans or pods, whatever you want to call it. They look like string beans, right? So it's an orchid, folks. Vanilla are the vines, and the trees are just host trees. So it needs a host tree, good shade, and we also do drip irrigation during our dry season as well. So it's in the orchids family because of the flower. It blooms just like in a regular orchid. Now at the very beginning, guys, the flower it started blooming in the month of March and it blooms for 3 months, March, April and May. And the flowers now usually comes at the tip of the young vanilla bean at the beginning. So the vanilla bean, and every bean has its own flower as well. In the center of the flower, guys, there's a stem that's called the rostellum, which holds both of the male and the female parts. But the female now has like a covering, it has a protection, and that's why it's very hard for bees or any hummingbird to pollinate the flower, guys. So for this one, we do the pollinating process. So we have to come down here every morning in March and hand pollinate the flowers manually using a toothpick, folks. And the hard part of the job is, that's very hard for sure. I've worked with these guys, so it's quite an experience, I could say. And the hard part that they give us, the plants give us on the other side, is that the flowers now gives us an open window of 6 hours of reaching them, guys. If you didn't reach them like early in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning, they're already open until noon. Late afternoon, guys, the flowers will close. Even if it's pollinated or not, it will close. And if you didn't reach the flowers within 6 hours time now, then you just don't get any vanilla. That's just reality with vanilla. And those are some of the reasons why it ranks as the second most expensive spice on the world's market after saffron. Saffron is first, followed by this spice, and cardamom is the third expensive spice. And after pollinating, we wait for 5 months. They grow longer, and the tip of the bean usually turns yellow, and that's how we know when they're ripe. So we pick them, we boil them down, we cure them for another week, and then we sun dry them for another 2 or 3 more months, and that's when they turn black or brown, and that's how you buy them in the stores. So if you add up the time, guys, it takes approximately 1 year from here to the shelf. 1 year, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's very labor intensive, it's very high in demand as well. And this is the third expensive spice, which is cardamom. Now cardamom is also part of the ginger family, like I showed you guys back there. Turmeric. Turmeric is a root that goes underground, guys, but cardamom comes above the earth, like this one here, see? It flowers. So once the flowers drop, now these small berries falling up behind, guys. Cardamom is a very minty spice. It's one of the active ingredients in chai tea. It's mostly used in baking and teas and pastries as well, guys. It's a very minty spice, very refreshing spice. But this is very young, I believe. You guys could smell it. Cardamom. It's native to India, but Guatemala, which is our neighboring country, is the top producer of this spice, folks.
Seems to be like the start of the flower inside it. It's crazy.
Now this here, well, we locally call it as the cow foot leaf because of the shape of the leaf, right? Looks like a cow's foot. And it's something that we use in fish, folks. We wrap fish in this leaf, and then we use we actually mix fish with this leaf and we wrap it in banana leaves, or there's another special leaf for it which is called waha leaves, guys. It's so good in fish with salt and chili pepper, steamed smoked fish. You can also use shrimp, lobster, you know, it gives it a smell after the fish is cooked. It's almost kind of licorice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was trying to figure out what it was. Licorice. It's got a faint licorice to
Yeah,
it.
it does.
Like, it smells like something. What does it smell like?
Spice for this afternoon, folks, is black pepper. So this right here is all 10 acres of black pepper. It's actually one of our main spice, guys. And harvest time is like right now. What we pick are clusters of peppercorns, folks, like this. And they have to be picked one by one, and provided you're high, these folks use a ladder for reaching. It's all hand collection, sorry. You can break one and smell. You can even bite into one, but it's very spicy. You guys don't have to. When you bite it, it wakes you up. Yeah. So it's almost like vanilla. It needs a supporting tree, shade, irrigation when the plant is young. And we get 3 different kinds of pepper from the same peppercorns, guys. There's different stages of harvest and also different processes that it entails. The first collection is for black pepper, whereby we collect them when they're still green like this in November, which is this month. Is usually when we harvest. We haven't started at the moment. And we pick them green like this, wash them clean, we dry them out for 2 days, and they will turn black. So that's for black pepper. And when they're overripe on the vine, guys, the peppercorn will change to a red color, so you can pick those for red peppers. And the last kind, which is white pepper, is the same red pepper. It's the same red pepper that we soak into a bucket of water for at least a week, so that the skin becomes soft. You rumble the skin off, and the seed inside is white, and that's what we get for white pepper, guys. So we get 3 different kinds. We get black, red, and white from the same vine. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Cook. Watch out.
Bite it.
I like biting into the pepper.